So while I was gone, there was a story that came out that you'd really only expect to find published by a satirical website like The Onion, but this was real life. So apparently, Ajit Pai, FCC Chairman, maybe you heard of him, he received an award for displaying courage while fucking over the American people during his bid to repeal net neutrality. I'm not kidding. So according to Kaylee Rogers of Vice, Ajit Pai, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, was surprised Friday when instead of delivering prepared remarks as he had planned at the Conservative Political Action Conference, he was given an award from the National Rifle Association. The Charlton Heston Courage Under Fire Award is not given every year, explained Carolyn Meadows, the second vice president of the NRA. It's only presented when a person has stood up under pressure with grace and dignity and principled discipline. Can we just pause right there? This is grace and dignity that Ajit Pai displayed.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Okay, getting back to the article, citing the death threats Ajit Pai reportedly received as part of the backlash to his decision to overturn net neutrality protections, Dan Schneider, the executive director of the American Conservative Union, called Pai the most courageous, heroic person that I know. It was because he ran through the net neutrality repeal despite the fact that it was categorically rejected by the American public, that the NRA gifted Pai with the title and the award, which is literally a gun. A Kentucky handmade long gun, to be precise. We cannot bring the award on stage, but being from the NRA, your gift will be housed in our museum with a plaque to you, Meadows said. When you can receive it, we'll give it to you. You'll love it. Now, the reason why the NRA could not bring his trophy/gun on stage was because CPAC does not allow guns. Literally, guns are banned from a conservative event. Now, interestingly enough, the story got even weirder because Ajit Pai decided to reject this award, citing potential ethics concerns. Yeah. So in a letter to the NRA, he wrote, "As you know, once my staff became aware of what was happening, they asked backstage that the musket not be presented to me to ensure that this could be first discussed with and vetted by career ethics attorneys in the FCC's Office of General Counsel," Pai wrote, according to an FCC source who relayed the text of the letters. "Therefore, upon their counsel, I must respectfully decline the award," he wrote. "I have also been advised by the FCC's career ethics attorneys that I would not be able to accept the award upon my departure from government service." So, according to this letter, Ajit Pai suddenly really is concerned about ethics. Colluding with a Verizon executive to joke about how he's a puppet for Verizon, basically doing the bidding of Sinclair, changing policies so that way they can benefit. There's no ethical concerns to be had there, but when it comes to accepting an award from the NRA, Ajit Pai thinks, whoa, we gotta think about the ethics here for a minute. This guy, Ajit Pai is the one public official that I think never ceases to amaze me. This is interesting. So first and foremost, we have to go back to the award itself. The NRA thought, well, this individual here, he's fucking over the American people. He's doing something that they don't like because it obviously screws them over. So let's give him an award because he's courageous in fucking us over. He stood up to us and said, fuck you, as we demanded that he listen to us and do what we want. That's what they gave him an award for. Now they cite the alleged death threats he received, but first and foremost, look, I can't speak to that. All I can say is that I unequivocally do not condone death threats. I don't condone violence or harassment or intimidation of any kind. But what we do know is that Ajit Pai was basically trying to elevate signs that were left in front of his house saying basically that what he was doing was wrong and it was evil. He was trying to elevate that and equate it to basically harassment and intimidation and threats. I mean, I'm sure that there's some other things that he wasn't able to talk about that police were dealing with in terms of death threats, but that still doesn't change the fact that what he did was incredibly wrong. It was harmful. And yes, I do think it took a tremendous amount of courage to do what he did, to basically stand up to the overwhelming majority of the American people and give them the middle finger. I think that that's wrong. But sure, it's courageous, but not in a good way. People do bad things, and it takes courage to do those bad things all the time. That doesn't mean that we should reward them for it. So this is probably the weirdest story I've come across, and it's one of the other stories I couldn't wait to talk about after I got back, because what the hell? I don't have much to say. Usually, I have a lot of commentary for things, for stories regarding Ajit Pai, but I've got nothing here. This is strange. The NRA, I think, they're going against the American people too, so I think that they could probably empathize with Ajit Pai because they also are doing things that are very unpopular. So at the end of the day, there's so much odd things in this story. The fact that he got the award, the fact that he not only rejected the award, but cited ethical reasons to reject the award. This is strange. Strange times we're living in. It's like the Twilight Zone, but it's real life.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.